It's a great day for a rapture. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel and my 6th installment in the What to Expect When You're Collecting series. In this series, I talk about my favorite publishers in the horror and small press community, what they do, who they publish, and what you can expect if you decide to collect from them too. I've previously done Suntup, SST, Levidian, Earthling, and Centipede. And today I'm going to do the long overdue video for Rapture. And as always, I hope this video helps you decide if you want to start collecting some awesome editions yourself. For me, Rapture Publishing started as Rapture Brewing. A fan of the channel reached out to me and said, hey, I know you like to drink beer when you read books, talk about books, and I'd like to send you some beer that I do. And he said, better yet, I'm going to brew a beer just for your channel and call it the Jeff Ward Stout. And I don't think there's any version of me in any parallel universe who could have refused that offer. So he sent me some Jeff Ward Stout, which is Imperial Stout, which is my favorite adult beverage, made with caffeine and vanilla. It is amazing. And he also did some other things. Anyway, Mitch had been a regular on the channel ever since I started going live when I was talking about my unboxings, and he would show up every week to my Go Jeff Your Shelf lives. And he became a friend. He's a really good, great guy. And at one of the lives, we started talking about Philip Fracassi and what a great author he is. And he suggested creating the Facebook page Fracassi Freaks. And I told him, yes, just don't even bother watching this live. You go over and set it up. He set it up that night. And Fracassi Freaks has been a great Facebook group to go and talk about Philip Fracassi, all of his upcoming works, and all of his back catalog, which is amazing. If you collect Philip Fracassi, there's a lot to get in the years he's been publishing. But that just wasn't quite enough for Mitch, who just takes the ball and runs with it, but he never stops because there's never an end zone. There's always motion with that guy and just a series of accomplishments. So he decided, hey, I'm going to set up a Fracassi Fest for all the freaks to get together and actually be in the same room with Philip. And he set it up for Tulsa, Oklahoma, because it was convenient for him. And we all flew in, drove in, and it was an incredible time in August of 2024. And as part of that, Mitch forced Philip to write a short story based in the Serafina universe, because that was the book Philip was promoting at the time. And Witch Tree became the very first Rapture chapbook. It was printed just for Fracassi Fest, signed by Philip, limited to 150? I don't even remember. And it was the very first Rapture Publishing, the first time Rapture Publishing appeared anywhere. And I remember thinking at the time, oh, this is cute. This is a really cool thing. And Mitch pulled it together, and what an accomplishment. That's pretty awesome and good for him. He's got that under his belt and he can move along, but the guy doesn't ever stop with a win. He's just going to keep pursuing those wins. And soon enough after that came Carved in Salt and Death on the Swayback and a series of incredibly awesome chapbooks that has not stopped. He's just announced his lineup well into 2027. Now he is a force to be reckoned with. He's gone into trade editions, deluxe editions, and he just signed a sweet distribution deal to become an imprint of shortwave books. And I'm now forced to stop thinking about Rapture Publishing as Mitch's side hustle. So what's the selection? What does Rapture do? Rapture does an incredibly wide range of authors in horror and weird fiction. I never thought I'd like weird fiction as much as I do, but I absolutely love it. He's done the ones I would expect coming up in this community: Fracassi, Tyler Jones, and Chad Lutzke. But because he does these chapbooks in a bite-sized format, he's also introduced me to a bunch of new authors like Sam Rebeline, Chris Panettiere, R.J. Joseph. And the format just lends itself to discovery. It's like tapas, a tapas restaurant. These are small plates, great servings to get to know what new authors are capable of, at least new to me. Now, his chapbooks come in numbered and lettered editions. The page design and the stories and the content are identical, but there are obvious upgrades to the lettered edition, notably a thicker paper stock inside, a nicer cover, a different illustration treatment. You can see the numbered here has a border around the edge, whereas The lettered has a full bleed piece of art. Arguments could be made. Maybe the numbered is the better way to go, but I love the full bleed covers. All the artwork and all the chapbooks is done by Chris Panettiere. And when I saw Mitch was sticking with Chris for every chapbook, I was a little worried. I thought, that's a mistake. It'd be really cool to introduce a new artist with every new author. But boy, was I wrong. Chris Panettiere is a mega talent. I love the way it creates uniformity, but also individuality, because each piece is so unique to the story. Chris is so talented that he's able to bring a lot of different vibes to everything he does. Definitely an awesome way to keep that quality high. And it just now has this feel. This is a Rapture book. It can't really be a Rapture chapbook without Chris Panettiere now. So Chris, maybe you could charge more. I kid. And then the numbereds are also stapled, whereas the lettereds are hand stitched by Mitch himself. There are also differences on the signature sheets. The numbered has no touch of color. They're all hand numbered and signed by the authors and artist, whereas the lettered has spot colors throughout and not just on the signature sheets. Both editions will have the same interior art and really cool page number treatments. I'm sure there's a word for that. But most of the difference between the lettered and the numbered is the feel of it. You could definitely, if you blindfolded me and handed me the numbered and the lettered, I'd be able to tell the difference with the quickness. The lettered edition feels much more substantial. Also, the lettered edition has an optional dust jacket that a lot of people sign up for. These are hand marbled papers with a very cool label affixed to the front of it. Initially, I thought that's crazy. Who needs a dust jacket for a chapbook? And now seeing them, I just don't feel like it's complete without the dust jacket to see it. Now, the books he's doing, he actually started out with the deluxe hardcover of Daytide. This was the first novel that Rapture published, and it is beautiful. It's got a lot of the things that you expect from much higher priced editions. Cloth boards, foil stamped, loaded with artwork, a signature page, Smith sewn binding, as well as a ribbon page marker. Just an amazing way to begin publishing. But now he's also doing trade editions. I don't currently have one because they're not out yet. That's how new they are. But Arson by Design will be the first trade edition Rapture releases. And it's a collection of stories from Tyler Jones. And it will be available as a trade paperback as well as a deluxe hardcover. But for now, all I have is the advanced review copy, which I'm reading, and it is amazing. As far as price, these chapbooks are insanely affordable for what you get. So for the numbered edition, they're $25. For the lettered edition, it's $45. The dust jackets are a little bit of an upcharge, but those dust jackets are only available if you buy via the subscription model. I buy my books bundled together. I get the lettered, the numbered, and a really cool art print. Forgot to mention that previously. So that's a really nice package that he puts together, and I get the dust jacket with that. And right now, as far as the books go, the deluxe edition of Daytide was $65, and the trade paperback of Arson by Design was $20. So really affordable entry points to get something that's signed, loaded with art, and limited. How do you buy from them? Well, you got to subscribe to the newsletter. He's a one-man show. He's really getting his wheels under him to get on more of a faster track. But as it is right now, that's the only way to be notified of when anything becomes available. Just subscribe to the newsletter. Buying is pretty simple. There haven't been bloodbath sellouts for every chapbook. I think as demand goes up, that's going to change. He might have to reformat some of what he does. The books didn't sell out immediately, but again, he's a new press. It's not going to be an overnight switch where things are selling out really quickly. But if you subscribe to the newsletter and you get in now, that would be my recommendation, because I imagine it's going to be a lot harder in the future. And if you subscribe to the lettered bundle, there's also a Facebook group that's private just for you called the Speakeasy. And you get a lot of information and insights there well before everybody else. It's very, very cool. And you have the first shot to buy literally everything. Shipping, again, due to being a one-man shop, primarily, I'm sure his better half helps him out a whole lot, and he finds a way to get all the books out. But from ordering to shipping and having it in your house is a very short window. He gets it done, and everything always arrives in mint shape. So shipping, he's also aces there. So this is my favorite part of these videos, where I get to show you my favorite publications. First up is The Witch Tree. As I mentioned in the outset of this video, The Witch Tree is the very first time Rapture Publishing appeared. This is a very short story from Philip Fracassi set in the Serafina world. It's only about 2,500 words, and it was given out primarily to Fracassi Fest goers. And a lot of those people bought multiples while they were there. But additional copies were sold separately. They are all gone now. They are all spoken for. I rarely see this book show up on the secondary market, which tells me that the real fans got it, and that's so awesome. This is the only Rapture chapbook that doesn't have art by Chris Panettiere. This cover was done by Matthew McAdoo, and there was also an art print that came with it, printed on handmade paper. It was gorgeous. I got it somewhere. I'm probably showing it to you right now because I will have had time to locate it as I edited this video. So I hope you're enjoying it. At the fest, there was also this envelope with this warning on there because the story in the chapbook was tied to Serafina, the longer novel, which wasn't even out at the time. And we were warning people to maybe wait on reading this chapbook until after they've read Serafina. So this was only given out to fest goers. I don't know. I've never seen this envelope available to buy on eBay or the secondary market. So very limited thing. And yes, you may have noticed my signature on the signature sheet. I was asked to write the introduction for The Witch Tree. I was just absolutely more than happy to oblige. I hope that doesn't decrease the value on the secondary too much. Next up is Axum and Servitor. This was a really cool bundle where each author contributed a story to the other author's chapbook. So for example, Philip Fracassi wrote Servitor, and Tyler Jones contributed The Iron Door as sort of an end credit scene to the main feature. It was very cool. And then Philip returned the favor with his short story, Sunset. And I read these back to back, which is a huge, I couldn't recommend that enough. And these are both authors that are must reads for me. They're incredibly talented. To hear their two voices contribute to these two stories was like watching Scott Ian come out on the stage and play lead guitar for Ministry. When you get these best talents together, it was a lot of fun. I hope he does it again, because that was such a winning formula. And what he also did with Axum and Servitor was release Patreon exclusive variant covers for each of Tyler Jones and Philip Fracassi's Patreons. So in total, there were 6 chapbooks to get: the numbered, the lettered, and the Patreon exclusive, as well as the ARC. So 4 versions of these books that I got. Each one signed by Philip, Tyler, and Chris Panettiere. Great stories. Next up is To Be a Ghost. And this is a very special, heavy-hitting chapbook written by Chad Lutzke. Now, Chad Lutzke, he comes to my Monday Night Lives frequently. He's one of the most talented coming-of-age horror writers with a truly unique vibe to everything he does. I've reviewed his stuff on this channel. You can find it all. But before this was written, he announced he was retiring from writing horror, that is. He said he's just done with the community, with the gatekeepers, with all the bullshit, with the politics. It just was like getting harder and harder for him to get any sort of headwind going for his career. And so he was just done. Mitch being on my Monday Night Lives and Chad being on my Monday Night Lives, a little conversation took place and a little agreement was met, and Chad came out of retirement to write this, to be a ghost. And reading this at once, it was absolutely bittersweet because this is peak Lutsky. Chad is the best at writing about forgotten people, people who are never dealt a good hand and society could give two shits about. He gives them a stage, he gives them the microphone, and he lets them go to work. This story is fantastic. I had to reread the last paragraph like 8 times before I could let it sink in. And I was just like, wow, jaw on the floor. And of course, amazing artwork from Chris Panettiere. I got one with a doodle with a pig. I think the lettered edition black cover is among my favorites that Rapture has put out to date, with that awesome Mitch Stitch. And this is the art print that I mentioned earlier that comes with the lettered bundle. They're limited to 50. They're signed, they're numbered, and they are definitely suitable for framing. You can feel that ink. And the last thing I'll share with you is the deluxe edition of Daytide. This is a full-length novel authored by Chris Panettiere, who also did every single bit of the incredible art inside. It's cloth bound and foil stamped with this cool inverted steeple, which would totally make sense once you read the story. And what an insane story it is. It's a dark fantasy about angels who drink turpentine. you gotta, hey, you know what? I'm not here to do a book review. I've done a book review for this, so you can go check it out. I'm just here to show you the absolute gorgeosity of the book. If you collect Centipede Press, this cloth will feel very familiar. The end sheets are gorgeous, and I'm not going to say that all of Rapture's deluxe editions are going to have this much art, but since the author is also the artist, he went bonkers with amazing art. I don't know actually how many pieces are in here, but there is no shortage of eye candy within these pages. It didn't come with a slipcase, but the price is almost like you are robbing Mitch and taking food right out of his children's mouths. It's very inexpensive for what you get. I don't know how long that will last. I think he might wise up at some point and start charging deluxe prices for his deluxe books. But right now, this first installment was ridiculously affordable. $65 for a book that other publishers would easily charge $100 for, easily. If this was a Subterranean Press book, it'd be $185. So that is completely sold out at the publisher. I would suggest you get over there and get Arson by Design. Of course, I don't know when you personally are watching this video. It could be years from now. It could be next month. And so promises that I make, I cannot guarantee. So that's what you can expect if you're collecting Rapture publications. Bespoke chapbooks that introduce you to new authors that you might not have otherwise read. A totally handcrafted vibe and curated to deliver the best voices in horror and weird fiction. And now with the trade line getting kicked off and these deluxe editions, I really do believe Rapture Publishing is a press that is going to be a big deal in the horror community, in the small press world. If you subscribe to the newsletter, you could say, I knew them way back when. As I looked at my collection of Rapture chappies, I realized I could really go off on sharing with you Meat Ship and The Quality of Mercy and Carved in Salt and so many of the installments that he's already published. But I think I've delivered enough to give you a sense of what it is. So now it's up to you. Hope you're excited as I am for the future of Rapture. And if any of these chapbooks caught your eye, good luck on the secondary. There are still quite a few books available on the Rapture site, so go check them out. Thank you for joining me this time. Hope to see you again next time. In the meantime, stay frosty.